west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he a domino. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical, guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we go check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since all the dominance. One west rising to prominent. Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupon for Uber. Rhymes hard like they've been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by black Impalas, let the semi holler. The showstopper been the stopper since the titty bopper. But now I'm growing them off Patron and premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The war heavy, war ready, and that's working mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they eat song, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, down the deep. And I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because U.P.K. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that U.P.K. banner, is my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. It's all about that warfare, boy. Back up, it's all about that warfare, boy. Take grip. My soldiers take grip till I'm stand down. Take grip. My soldiers take grip till I'm stand down. Take grip. Nah, this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We will not be moved or intimidated. nigga crosses with no consequence, but you will pandemic. You should've used your common sense. My zeal lit, that means you could never prevail. Hey, with a true sin, hey, with warriors dwell. Be wise with the weapons, cause I promise. My nine is like my wife, she concealed, she modest. I know two things, a robber will not prosper. And any man harm me and my aunt gon' meet the doctor. Cause this life is warfare, it's not an easy walk. Been watching my people die so you can miss me with that love talk. My U.P.K soldiers, any man try to cross your path, make him regret what that means. Fall on his ass. Comparing me to you really ain't no contest. Lonely one west. Say what? Lonely one west. This for those who thinking we ain't ready for. Tell them back up. I'm about to drop some heavy for. Go to grip, 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 go to grip. It's all about that warfare, boy. Get grip, get grip, get grip, back up, get grip, get grip, get grip, back up, get grip, get grip. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take grip, 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 take grip. My soldiers take grip till them stand down. Take grip, take grip, take grip, take grip, take grip, take grip, take grip. My soldiers take grip till them stand down.
It's 613 commandments, nigga, and you can't do 10, my nigga. Matter of fact, you can't do one, my nigga. Let's see if you can stop eating pork. I see that pork juice running down your fork. Talk about you blessed in the streets of New York. I see that tight Christian 3-piece suit that you bought. When you gonna rock that? When you go to court? Maybe Sunday, better get Easter. I blast at you masters, knowledge reigns supreme over all you teachers. Pedophile supporters, cool rigor mortis. Your niggas out of order. When Christ returns, you hear the screams in the chorus. Now read
Revelations 6 and 17. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
Tell me why would you go against the Most High? Tell me why would you? Can you tell me?
It's a wicked, disgusting society that we live in, man. And we gotta separate from the society. We gotta separate. How long does the white man have to murder and kill for you to realize he's a goddamn devil? How long does he have to murder and rape and arrest and shoot unlawfully for you to realize this white man is a goddamn beast?
All he does is rape, murder, steal, and plunder. You understand that? And as a result, they destroyed our people. And as a result, our people are running around with the goddamn Wu-Tang Clan because there's a Jewish imposter on the planet. When you take away a man's identity, you can replace it with anything. That's why we're in every religion.
And what I'm telling you, what I have to teach you, every race does it automatically. You don't have to teach Asians to join themselves. You don't have to teach East Indians to join themselves. You don't have to teach Arabs. When them Africans come over here from Africa, you don't have to teach them that. You don't have to teach the Vietnamese. You have to teach us. You have to teach us.
Now, wood, come on,
Elias.
Everybody want to be in my face. Crazy. They want to be in my face, man.
Hell yes, yes. Hell yes, yes.
My face now.
Hell yes, yes.
Doing the street. Yeah. My whole bid was surrounded by years, months, days, hours, and minutes. Now that the bid is finished, brothers want to meet me at the line of scrimmage. Like this is football. Course I ball, I put my foot in y'all. Y'all can go and kick rock. Should've known when I come home, I'll be hotter than a melting pot. I'm focused. Didn't set it out, know what the hell I'm pursuing, know what the hell I am doing. I told the dudes I ran New York like Patrick Ewing. You captured like an up north flick. If you own the team like Isaiah Thomas, why the hell you in New York selling the Knicks? You don't understand my problems, and I see you're not gonna help me to solve them. I guess I'm all alone, just me and my money and my microphone, huh? Just me and my microphone. When you wide of sight, you wide of mind. Brothers on the streets, contain the crime. They don't even keep you inside their mind. Cause when you wide of sight, you wide of mind. When you wide of sight, you wide of mind. Brothers on the street, contain the crime. They don't even keep you inside their mind. Cause when you wide of sight, homie, you wide of mind. You know who I am, the next $1 million man. Why you wanna shit on me? Don't wanna set it out for me. It's all good, I'm back in the hood, doing things I should. 2 years locked up, and your brother still tripping wood. What's the meaning? More parole, a brother scheming and triple beam, infrared beam, stroke beaming to your face. Your brothers is dreaming. Holla at your kid. Stuff I done did. Y'all dudes are ruin the stuff I done did. I'm the reason why dudes are getting deals in the lower east. This is my house. Trying to take your dudes off the lease. Hire dudes and putting mixtapes out without shouting out me. B. Jones, me, myself, and my money and my microphone. And my microphone, when you wide of sight, you wide of mind. Brothers on the street, contain the grind. They don't even keep you inside their mind. Cause when you wide of sight, you wide of mind. When you wide of sight, you wide of mind. Crazy.
Hey,
clap it
what's
up.
going on? Hey,
Hallelujah. Brock. Y'all about some y'all shop.
nah, but some y'all side rockin' thumb. Hey, shalom. Shema Allah Taba Shem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. Shalom Yahweh Shem Shah to the brothers. Let a Hebrew speak. Yo, today, you know, I was gonna go into Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? That false god running around holding balloons and candy and with heart shape, all that. We always do in the UPK, and it's like prophets of gold. We always smash all the false gods just to turn people back to the Most High, the only real and true God.
Right.
So today, let's get it in. Hey, what's going on, Captain Kapash?
Hallelujah, Shalom, Lord Christ.
Officer Marah. All right. So let's get it. Marah there?
Khan. He just Khan.
Okay, tell him to give you one of them stories on Valentine. First, I'm gonna go into it.
Khan.
Man, and then we're gonna go into chiming in on the heart shape, Cupid, you know, the arrows, the whole 9 yards. All right. And I'm also going to how it affects our people. So go ahead and give me the first story.
Khan. Loading it now up, sir.
Okay. Not the well, you know, the history on Valentine's.
Oh, the history on Valentine's?
Yes.
Not depression on Valentine's Day. The history.
Nah, we're gonna do that one.
Khan.
Look for the actual feast day?
Karawakan.
You know what I mean? Because this holiday is always coming every year. But I'm gonna just give you a brief history. February comes from February, which is actually time of the renewing of spring, fertility. You know what I mean? It was a Greek god turned into the Romans. The Romans called it February, and that was also a god, a fertility goddess. Okay.
Karawakan.
All right.
Karawakan.
You can chime in anytime you want, Captain Kapash, till you get it. You know what I mean? There's no sweat, because I know you know the history as well. You know, because we go out there and basically crush it every year.
Right. People think it's about love. They're gonna find out it's something more base than that. It's not some high up romantic thing that they think it is. It's really a base immoral lust filled tradition.
Exactly. And that's really what and it's a disgusting tradition that dates back all the way down to Nimrod and Semiramis and Tammuz. And over the years or the centuries or the millenniums, it went to the Egyptians from Osiris and Isis to Horus, or you could say Ra. Then it went to the Greeks. You know what I mean? Then it passed down to the Romans. All right? But it really starts off with the wolf, something Romulus and Remus. Hey, Marah, give him a hand, brother.
I think I got it, sir.
All right.
From thehistory.com. Karawakan. This is the history of Valentine's Day from history.com. How did Saint Valentine become associated with love and romance? History of Valentine's Day. Okay, scrolling down.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm tell you the whorehouses, they're gonna be jumping.
Yeah.
They're gonna be jumping.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy because I remember, man, I used to always see dudes with them balloons, them little helium balloons, heart shaped. You know what I mean? Roses. All that has nothing to do with the Most High. All that has nothing to do with love. You know what I mean?
All right. They don't even have a day where they show they support or they allegiance to the Most High, where they go that hard. They don't go that hard for the Lord.
Right. You know what I mean? They don't. You know what I mean? And it's all just to have sex, like you said. It's a base. You know what I mean? And no one actually checks out the origin of what they following. They know it ain't biblical. They know it ain't biblical.
Yeah,
I'm waiting on Marah to get it. Hey, Marah, look for the one that says the actual feast day of Luperca.
Luperca?
Yeah,
sir.
Yeah, Luperca.
All right, Kanawakan, sir. We got, is this?
You see it when it says the actual feast day.
Kanawakan, sir.
All right. All right.
Oh, okay. Kanawakan. Lupercalia Festival, ritual and sacrifice.
Yeah, come on with it.
All right, come on, con, sir. I'll just add it to the screen so everybody can see it. Wow, too, how about?
And the bar.
No
So
sweat,
it should be
brother.
coming up. Should be coming up now. I'm
I
gonna add
was
it to
gonna
the
let him.
screen.
Yeah, let him read it and stuff like that. Right?
Con one con. So let me try to make this bigger.
Because I'm using my phone, so I won't be able to read it anyway. So,
Con one con, you got it, I bought.
Khan. This is Lupercalia Festival actual day celebration. Valentine's Day, however, Lupercalia was a bloody, violent, and sexually charged celebration awash with animal sacrifice. Random matchmaking and coupling in the hopes of warding off evil spirits and infertility.
right. Go ahead.
Khan. It's thought Lupercalia took place to honor the she-wolf and please the Roman fertility god Lupercus. No one knows the exact origin of Lupercalia, but it has been traced back as far as the 6th century BC.
That's how long they were celebrating this. All right. And here's what they would do. On that day, they would have the Lupercalia priests come out, and they would go in the cave and they would sacrifice goats and a dog. Then they would take the dog head and the goat head, and they would run naked, but they would smear all the blood. That's where you get the red from, or the red heart. And they would run nude through the city, hitting women on their buttocks. And they were supposed to have the woman hopefully get pregnant that year. So they did it for fertility. They ran around the city to purify the city, which is Palatine Hill, one of the 7 hills of Rome.
Want us to keep reading, sir?
Yeah.
Khan. Ritual sacrifice. Lupercalia rituals took place in a few places. Lupercal Cave on Palestine Hill and within the Roman open air public meeting place called the Comitium. The festival began at Lupercal Cave with the sacrifice of one or more male goats, a representation of sexuality, and a dog. The sacrifices were performed by Luperci, a group of Roman priests.
Because you know a dog is always in heat. He'll hump on anything. So during this time, they would go into this cave and they would sacrifice him. Go ahead.
Afterwards, the foreheads of 2 naked Luperci were smeared with the animal's blood using the bloody sacrificial knife. The blood was then removed with a piece of milk-soaked wool as the Luperci laughed. In ancient Rome, feasting began after the ritual sacrifice.
So a lot of this is with drunkenness and all that. All right. So imagine they smear blood all over them. Then they clean the knife up. Go ahead.
When the feast of Lupercal was over, the Luperci cut strips, also called thongs or februa, a goat of goat hide from the newly sacrificed goats.
Right. So after they did this ritual, now they cutting these so-called strips from the animal. All right. While they nude. Normally they would be nude. Later on, they changed it in AD and they partly wore clothes, but the same sex and orgy and all that would go on after the feast. All right. This is the actual feast. Go ahead.
Sir, I'm gonna reshare it. It didn't share it correctly, so that people couldn't see when I was moving the moving the screen. If I may.
Right. Okay.
So okay. Here we go, right here. All right, there we go. So everybody can see where exactly where we at.
Okay.
You got that, Bob.
Kawaka. They Kawaka. They then ran naked or newly naked around Palestine. Oh, no, Slovakia. They then ran naked or newly naked around Palatine, whipping any woman within striking distance with the thongs. During Lupercalia, the men randomly chose a woman's name from a jar to be coupled with them for the duration of the festival. Often, the couple stayed together until the following year's festival. Roman Catholic verse that a Christian will try to sell is that it's about a saint named Valentine. There are several legends surrounding the life of Saint Valentine. The most common is that on 1 February 14th during the 3rd century AD.
Now this is what a Roman Catholic will tell you about the name of Saint Valentine. They switched it from Lupercalia to Saint Valentine's Day, and this is when they started to join it into the Roman Catholic Church or so-called Christianity. This is how it came about, and they give you this story just to hide the God about. They try to hide the god Luperca. So they'll tell you that it's Valentine now. Go ahead.
Kawaka. There are several legends surrounding the life of Saint Valentine. The most common is that on 1 February 14th during the 3rd century AD, a man named Valentine was executed by the Roman Emperor Claudius II after being imprisoned for assisting persecuted Christians and secretly marrying Christian couples in love.
Which we know more at that time, the so-called Christians, they were still Israelites. All right. Claudius felt that a man shouldn't have a wife because he fight better without being married. A single man will go, will fight even harder and concentrate on the battle. So he forbid young men to marry, because he wanted to have his campaign of conquering and holding down the whole empire. So he banned everyone from marrying. This brother was secretly marrying brothers. Of course, the Roman Empire, they would allow Israelites to join. They would recruit Israelites to join the military, just like Cornelius in the book of Acts. And his 3 soldiers. Go ahead.
If I may say, you had a question about the about thongs. The thongs.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is Officer Hawar. He said this is where thongs come from. He's asking, is that where thongs come from?
Not necessarily. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say it was the origin, because they were more or less like strips, just to hit women. Now, when you look at thongs, it's made the same way. I'm not gonna say that's where it comes from. I just can't commission that because I actually wasn't taught that. All right.
As the story goes, during Valentine's imprisonment, he tried.
But let me say this. But if you wanted to use that out there on the streets, it would be legitimate, because that's exactly what it looked like. But I would check with General Mahyman first, or and ask him. Go ahead.
As the story goes, during Valentine's imprisonment, he tried converting Claudius to Christianity. Claudius became enraged and ordered Valentine to reject his faith or be killed. He refused to forsake his faith, so Valentine was beheaded.
Right, exactly. That's the story that they give you. And And far as recruiting him, that had been after the truth had got real diluted. Because over time, when the last apostles of Christ, it was John, and he died around 99 AD, somewhere around there, 90 AD, 98 AD. So then the church fathers, because of persecution, all the way up until almost 3 AD, they started to like water it down, and that's how they was able to bring in paganism. Okay, so that's why that's the reason why he recruited, because the Christians started getting a little weaker, and they got tired of being persecuted and murdered or killed. And then here it is today. You got Christianity all over the earth. All right. Give me the Cupid. Some of them you can join in if you want.
Khan, I was gonna get a
so I could go ahead, get down.
Oh yeah, Khan Salakia. Ezekiel 16:33. Let me get that. But a lot of these old pagan ritual things that came from the heathens, they're real disgusting, and we have no clue where they came from.
Right.
The majority of us have just gone around following it just because that's what they taught us. That's what they said to do. They said this day, this is what you do for this day. You give a gift card, you get a gift, you give a gift to this one and this one and this girl. It's all about a female you like and this and that. That's just what they told us. We let you know we just like slaves still.
Yeah.
We still following their. This looked like it remind me of some white frat guys doing some stupid stuff, and then everybody following it, and then we turn around and follow them stupid frat guys.
Right. Exactly.
That's what it seemed like. This is the Kappa white boy fraternity Kappas or whatever, and they run around the college campus doing some retarded stuff, naked, blood all over them. Yeah, just being animals like they are. Which to them this seems fun. To them this is like, oh, this is awesome. We got to do this every year.
Right.
It's a great tradition. But why are you doing it, black man?
Right. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole. And something is funny because like as a kid, you get introduced to Valentine's Day in school. I don't know if it's the same thing when y'all came up.
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh my God. But when I was a little kid, they had us drawing those hearts. You know what I mean? So and come to find out, the heart, the ring finger, where you put the ring, when you get married and you put that wedding ring on her finger, you put it on the ring finger. It originated from Rome, because the Romans believed that ring finger was connected to your heart, so that's why they would put the ring finger on that particular finger.
God, and that's a heavy, because that's heavy out of wine, because that's another big custom that we do, and we have really no clue why we're doing it.
Right. You know what I mean? It's only until you come into the I.S.U.P.K. you start breaking down all those gods and those customs that you thought were, of God, and you find out it was of another god, a pagan god, another people's, culture.
Right.
You know what I mean?
If I get that one scripture, Ezekiel.
Kawaka. I got it, sir.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 33. They give gifts to all whores.
What do they do?
They give gifts to all whores.
That's what the Valentine's Day then devolved into. We want to be like them. We see them having all this crazy lustful sex, swapping wives and orgies and just and quick sex, like you just met her that night. We see them having that, and it happens in the colleges all the time. You notice a lot of sisters, they get real loose when they get to college.
Exactly.
Why is that? They sister gets straight A's, ain't really did about nothing, but then when they get to college, now they sleeping with the campus.
Exactly.
What's the big change? Why change now? You wasn't sleeping with everybody in high school, and they try to make it seem like, oh, it's about because she's finally free and they finally got this to do, and it ain't really about that. It's about really following the oppressor and the oppressor's ways.
Right. And that's the culture on the colleges.
Yeah,
that's the white man's culture on them colleges. You know what I mean? All that secret fraternities, doing crazy, nonsense like that. You know what I mean? And what they call that? What's that? What they call that sex where you tie somebody up and be beating them?
Sadomasochism or bondage or BDSM or something.
Yeah, and that's all that come from Rome, man. All that come from the Greeks and the Roman Empire. That's their culture. You know what I mean? So, hey, give me some more pictures on the.
You want a Cupid, sir?
Yeah, let's do Cupid.
Kind of one kind.
And come to find out, Cupid go all the way back to Tammuz. Everything goes back to Babylon. Every god that's on the planet Earth all goes back to Nimrod and Semiramis. All right, that's Tammuz. That's the same thing. And the Romans adopted that, and the Greeks adopted that picture to show Cupid. That, you see that red line? There you go. That's the arrow from the lips. You know? Now go back. There you go. Now the issue on Cupid was that he was a white, chubby, mischievous child or baby. But in the Greek, he was Eros. But in Babylon, that was Tammuz. Give me the 8th chapter. I think
so you've been going in and out a little bit. You said what chapter, sir?
Oh, Ezekiel. Chapter 8 and 16. No, 13 or 14. And these statues still stand today in Rome.
Oh God.
And the Romans and the Hamites, they love to be naked for some reason.
Good night.
God. And a lot of black people think this is what angels look like.
Yeah.
That we go to if we could, you breaking out so heavy out of wine because this is breaking down the foundation of what so many people believe. This is the strongholds, like the scripture says. We war against strongholds that stand against Christ, and these is one of them right here.
Right.
People think you're gonna die, go to heaven, sit at a big table eating dinner with Tupac and Biggie and your grandmother, and then these gonna be flying around playing violins in the sky or harps.
Right.
That's what people think heaven is really gonna happen.
Right. And that's why it's so heavy that the I.S.U.P.K, the children in the I.S.U.P.K, like y'all making sure none of that gets in their brain. Like I was raised with all their gods and thinking about God, but never learning about my God until I was in my 40s. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole time, all my life was based off of lies. But here it is in the UPK. These children that I see, they being raised up right. Never eating pork, never celebrating Christmas, never celebrating St. Valentine's Day, never hoping that they looking from love to a box of chocolate.
Right. If I may, sir, can I add something on that?
Yeah.
That's a scary thing, man. When you got a daughter it's like, damn, to know that she gonna find love through a box of chocolate. I mean, she gonna find that every year. And then when
Right.
she 15 with 15 bodies, you know, 15 had sex with 15 people by the age of 15, then you wondering why she's pregnant and all that stuff. Like, that is a scary thought to think. My daughter is going to have sex for goodies. And then when she get older, she's going to want the man with more goodies.
Right.
So she's going to switch from man to man to man. Well, his car better. Well, that
Right.
car is better. Well, if I be a stripper, can't top those goodies. Thousands of dollars a night.
Exactly.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
It's a rabbit hole, sir.
Right.
Definitely, you're right about that. And you know, with Valentine's Day, they always give a red rose, right? Come to find out, that red rose, they would place it at the door of somebody having secret sex. That's where the rose came in on Valentine's Day. Because a red rose shouldn't have nothing to do with the killing of a man named Valentine. Why is it a box? Why is it a box? Why is it a red rose? Why is it with angel wings and a bow and arrow if it's about Saint Valentine the man?
Exactly. That's right.
You know what I mean?
I'm on one card.
That's
so
right.
all of it is a mess, man.
I'm on one card.
Okay.
Like a new baby don't have nothing to do with no damn the so-called man Valentine.
Right.
That new baby represents, you know, child molestation, pedophilia.
God.
Right.
Sexual deviancy, sir.
Exactly.
I'm on one card.
Because if I could, the oppressor always had trouble, like was brought out before, always about General Muhammad, always had trouble with just straight male-female relationships. It was never they can't just be just a man and a woman and that satisfies them enough.
Right.
As most people know, it's always got to be some weird thing, you know, either some type of, you know, defecation or feed thing or food thing or some weird thing on top of it for them to really get aroused, and that's because they're the beast, like the scripture says.
Hey, yo, that's heavy what you said too. Real, all that other stuff got to be added in with them before they actually have sex. Like you got to run around nude. You got to take a thong and strips of an animal goat with blood on you and whip women. You know what I mean? And they was having all kind of orgy sex. But every holiday that the Romans have deals with certain evil lust. Every holiday that they follow. If you think about Christmas, it's about giving gifts, feeding your lust. Thanksgiving is about just being a pig. You know what I mean? 4th of July, it's about basically setting fires and blowing things up. You know what I mean? And then Valentine's Day, another one about sex. And originally Easter was about, that's the heart. That's where the heart really came from.
God. And now look, and if I could, Adawan, which you're bringing out as heavy, when you see it in this color, now you get the mindset what it is.
Right.
Now you can kind of figure out what you got your kids drawing, what the school system got your kids drawn in the class, and what they got shapes they got cutting out and handed to little girls at school. Maybe now you start to wake up a little bit.
Right.
And see, you don't want your kids doing this.
Right. He handed her a box of chocolate for some ass.
On one card.
You know what I mean? They make it red because it comes from the priest of Lupercus smearing all the blood on themselves. That's where the color red from. And I remember when General Muhammad showed us that, I saw strip clubs with this same emblem, but it was red. outside of they call so-called gentleman club, strip clubs. If you ever looking for a strip club and you'll see that heart shape or the buttocks of a woman with an arrow through. That's why sailors would put that tattoo in the 50s and in the 40s. They would wear a tattoo with a heart on it. Can y'all hear me? I'm going in and out.
Khan, I think Marah, you got to mute your mic when the general speaks because it causes reverb.
Hey, yeah, let me know. You know what I mean? But what I was saying is, what back in the days, so-called white sailors would with a heart shape tattooed on their arm because they was into going into strip clubs, and they would find strip clubs because that would be outside, hanging on a billboard. It wouldn't be real big, but it would be enough to notice what it was. They would put that on strip clubs and brothel houses.
Khan. What you're bringing out is heavy because this image just right here goes around the world, and it's another thing that they pushed on us, and we started to believe that red is the color of passion and love.
Right.
When that ain't no scripture.
Right.
That ain't no scripture. It's probably the color of passion and love to them because they love blood.
The water.
The
water.
Yeah.
The water.
That's why the scripture says, if I could, the scripture says, because you love his blood, the Lord gonna give you blood to drink, for thou art worthy. I believe it's Revelation 16:16.
Right.
Like we joining into their mind state and how they see the world when we don't see the world that way.
Exactly.
We're not the same as them. Blood doesn't turn us on, but blood turned them on.
Right.
Right.
Like Ezekiel says, since you love shedding blood, in Ezekiel 30, the 35th chapter, he said, I'm going to shed your blood. You're right. And that's where that red come from. That red come from that blood of sacrificing them goats and smearing it and all the killing he loved. That's why they would wear a red cape. The military always wore a red cape for war. You know, the Roman Empire, the Roman legions.
Khan.
All right.
Khan.
And if I could add, sir, it's like you said, I had asked my uncle, he was in the Navy. I had asked him, I was a kid too, but he had the tattoo with the heart on it. With the line that went through it. He had the tattoo. And I was asking him what was that for? And when I was a kid, he told me, he was like, oh, that's from me being in the Navy. So he didn't elaborate on it then, but I asked him when I was a little bit older. I was still a kid, but I was like a teenager.
Right.
I think I was around like 15 or something when I asked him again. Because, he used to always have us doing push-ups and all that crazy stuff. So I'm like, how does that mean the Navy? He was like, oh, that's when we used to go get laid, Jack.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they do. And here's what is funny about that, right? You wouldn't get laid first. You would get drunk and then get laid and then go get the tattoo or get coerced into getting the tattoo. Most of the dudes will tell you that had got tattoos, right? They'll tell you, I was drunk when I did this. Black brothers, our brothers, back then, we wasn't wearing no tattoo. If you look at the brothers in my era, you won't see no tattoos on us. We was against tattoos because we knew that was like white people stuff. Like back in the 80s, we wanted to be in, my generation, we wanted to prove that we don't follow after them. What they do is disgusting. And this is we wasn't in the truth, but we wasn't following that. We figured that was white people stuff. That was that punk rock stuff. That they was like they was satanic. They was, satanic. That's how we look at all. We looked at all that back in the 80s. We weren't wearing no damn tattoo. Be like, yo, man, I ain't let nobody put no tattoo on my arm. And every brother that got one was in the military. And he said he got it when he was drunk. And usually after they get drunk, they go find a prostitute, and then that's when they get the tattoo. All right?
Okay.
You want to bring something out, sir, if I may?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Okay, come. If I may, this picture right here is heavy because this is real life in America. What it goes back to what I was saying, like about from piggybacking off of you about the goodies and the gifts. if I may, I got a scripture. Can I pull it about the gifts?
Come on, God.
Go ahead, Abba.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
So oppression, if you wise, you're gonna be angry at being oppressed. That's just reasonable. Go ahead.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
But in the midst of that oppression, if you're getting gifts, your mind is gonna be destroyed. You're gonna be less and less and less, angry about being oppressed. To the point where damn near it can take you to how it is today, where you don't even think you oppressed. Now imagine what that gift can do to a young female. You know what I mean? To a young female and a young male, because just like this picture showed, that vagina is a gift to him. Like your daughter, she's thinking about the hearts, and the heart said, "Kiss me," and I love you.
Right.
And the candy heart, she like, oh, he really likes me. But on his mind is the tell. He worried about getting the kiss at the end of the day. If you're in kindergarten or something like that, or first grade or second grade, he worried about getting the gift because his mind is already destroyed. That part is destroyed in his mind. And the same thing with the daughter. She thinking about love and how much he care about her, and he just wants to tell. He thinking more about the tell, which is why look at our marriage rate today in America. Like the divorce rate is ridiculous, man. Of course, according to Esau, what he calls marriage. But that is ridiculous because it starts with that same thought right there. If she in the club, he look good. She thinking about all the things all the gifts that he can offer her. How big is it? How long is he gonna last? How much money he got? How good he look?
Right.
What kind of house he got? He thinking the same thing. And I wonder what the tell gonna be like. The tell look good. It's nice. She gonna be my baby mom. All this crazy stuff. They all thinking about the gifts. Go ahead, sir.
Really, he just want a piece of ass.
And oh my God.
She thinking it's going to be back. She thinking it's going to be a relationship. Really, trying to throw that gift out there to get some ass. You know what I mean? And excuse my language, but that's why, like, the rose is like that's. You know how they send somebody rose and they have a secret admirer. A lady might be on the job. Somebody sent her a bouquet of flowers, of roses, and don't leave no name because that's what the rose represented. That I want to get with you, even though you got a man, I want to do it in secret. It's just that back in the ancient days, you would put it by the person's door, and you'll be in the room with the person. So all that to say, it's all over a damn wolf. It's over a she-wolf. You know what I mean? The whole thing is over a goddamn animal. It ain't over no God. It's over a damn animal, a wolf and a she-wolf.
And if I could, I gotta step out 1 sec. I'll be right back. Like
okay,
2 seconds.
Right. All right, no sweat. Can you imagine that you following a holiday about an animal? Who to a God? You doing all this? You know what I mean?
Come on, that's terrible, man. That's a terrible our people, we so destroyed. It's like the things we hope for, the things we happy about, all the things that you know that's supposed to make life better, all lead down the road to serving another God or just serving yourself flat out. Like none of it is like, and it keeps us destroyed. It keeps us in this low, state of mind. It's like, yo, stand up for your people. I ain't got enough for me to do that. I work every day. But Valentine's Day coming up and get what that like that's all we can afford to think about.
Right.
And we're gonna spend our money on some more. You're gonna go get your girlfriend a Valentine and she's spending Valentine's Day with somebody else in her car or in his car.
Right.
And come back home to you and expect a gift from you. We'll cuss you out after she come back from him.
Yeah.
She got nothing for her. She's gonna still cuss you out to cover her tracks.
Yeah, you're right. I got it years ago when I was young. I got it into it with a female because I didn't celebrate it. I mean, I didn't know the truth behind it, but I just said, "Yo, man, I don't even understand that." Like, what the hell does that mean? That don't prove. In my mind, my thinking was that don't mean nothing to me. I just wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, I really wasn't with all that. For some reason, I just like, yo, man, that don't mean anything. You know what I mean? I mean, I did, partake of it, but me and a woman, and it's funny, and I got to tell you the story. I didn't really want to celebrate it, and when I did bring her something, right? Me and her started arguing and fighting. And you know what I said, Marah, and to the people out there? It served me right because I didn't stand on what I believe. That should have happened. You know what I mean? That should have happened. Not only did I bow down to her, come to find out, I bowed down to some damn wolf, some damn Roman god, a Roman festival, a white man's festival. And I should have stood strong. You know what I mean? But today I can help other brothers stand strong and help other sisters stand strong on it. You know what I mean? Because that's the job. The job is to get this information and teach it to your children, because your children gonna come home with a heart drawn on a piece of paper, or they gonna cut out a heart. You know?
I don't want to count, sir. I don't want to count, sir.
So it's crazy. All right. Hey, Marah, give me the one on depression. Let him read that article.
I don't want to count.
And here's an article that shows what happened when you don't get when you don't get hooked up with somebody on Valentine's Day. This is what happened to men and women. And this is a study, comes from someone on a hotline, because normally they would always say that people get depressed around Christmas and New Year's, Thanksgiving. All right. This is from City on a Hill Press. Hey, keep going up, keep going down, Marah, with the article. Scroll down, because I want you to go in the middle. I actually wanted to go in the middle. All right. Let me see where you at. All right, go back up. You go ahead and start.
Go
ahead.
Khan. The other side of Valentine's Day. While Valentine's Day generally conjures up images of happy couples and romantic proposals, for some, the holiday represents something else entirely: the beginning of a predicted increased suicide rate on the Central Coast. The myth is that Christmas is the most high-risk time for people to become suicidal.
Stop. It says Christmas, which I said earlier, It's a myth. Like you would think that Christmas would, people would go into deep depression. They said that's a myth. All right. These are people that took data from off a hotline number that they would call. They would call in to get help and try to prevent from committing suicide. But they say Christmas is a myth. That ain't the worst time of the year. Read on.
But actually, it's springtime, said Diane Bryce, Director of Suicide Prevention Service of the Central Coast, SPSCC. Nationally, that's the time with the highest rate of suicide. It's a scenario Bryce has seen play out again and again during her 23 years coordinating and training the volunteers who man the suicide hotline at SPSCC.
So she got 23 years in experience. And she said Christmas is not the time where people get depressed and want to commit suicide. Where, as people think. She said it's Valentine's Day. It's spring. Because around February, the weather tends to break for most of the part of the country. You know what I mean? At least 2/3 of the country, it starts to warm up. Even DC starts to warm up. But we know that February is still a cold month. But the weather starts to change. It starts to break. And as people things start to seem like spring is in the air, people, because of this holiday, they get depressed. They want to know what their spring and summer going to be like. They start to fall into deep depression and want to commit suicide. Over a holiday, that's a lie.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. The holiday season comes and people make an extra effort to reach out. Family gatherings and festivities provide a source of inclusion and distraction to counteract the isolation, Bryce said, is the most dangerous trigger for potentially suicidal persons. New Year's brings fresh resolutions, and it appears that maybe things are about to start looking up.
So you start to assume things can be better. You know what I mean? This is a new year. And then people always come up with that. We all know that. A New Year's resolution, this year going to be better than the last year. Go ahead.
And then February comes and you're supposed to be in love and you're supposed to be feeling better because it's springtime. But some people don't, Bryce said. That's when it gets really difficult for people because of the expectation to feel better. In her experience, Valentine's Day marks the beginning of this cycle, which generally increases in intensity until April when suicides spike nationally. It's because there's so much emphasis put on being partnered and being in love. And a lot of people just aren't, Bryce said. After a year-long study of the callers to SPSCC's hotline gives for contemplating suicide, Bryce found that the number one reason was failing relationships, with financial woes a close second.
Yeah, that failing relationships, not being in a relationship, seeking a relationship and not finding someone. That's number one around the time of Valentine's Day to spring. That's crazy.
Okay.
That is crazy. Any more on that? Okay.
It's so easy for all these different pressures to build up, said Lynn, a volunteer at SPSCC, who declined to give her real name. People get isolated, disconnected, and then they're left wondering, where do I go for help? Why isn't there anyone I can talk to?
And if I could, see the for brothers and sisters who may be dealing with some type of depression, the way you deal with depression is you don't think about yourself. You don't put other people above yourself. Help other people's problems, and I'll get you off of centering only your problems.
Right.
A good problem you can help solve, or not even a problem, is you serve the Lord. The Feast of Purim is during the same exact time, February 14th and 15th.
Exactly.
If you depressed, why don't you do this? Get some money and some food together and come bring it to the school so the brothers and sisters can serve the Lord and feast for the Feast of Purim to remember a beautiful sister that ain't beautiful for sleeping with everybody. That ain't beautiful for turning up her tail to the strippers and to the sailors and all that. She beautiful for serving the Lord and doing an honorable work and helping saving her people.
Right. And obeying her uncle. You know what I mean? She obeyed her uncle, man. And she went into some listen, let me tell you, like what she did, because she could have got killed approaching the king at that point in time on that day. You know what I mean? But the Lord was with her, and it was for the Lord's cause that he didn't kill her. You know what I mean? The Lord was able, to change his heart because of her beauty and because of what she was about to do for the nation of Israel. So you're right. That's where you take it. That was heavy. You're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what we got to do. We got to get prepared to serve the Lord.
Right.
Get the feast days prepared. All you sisters out there watching, make sure you're getting ready to a school near you, bringing some food in. You know what I mean? Getting dressed all nice. You don't have to get some cheap chocolates to feel special.
Right.
You don't have to turn over your tail to some half-ass guy so you can feel special and loved. Come to the UPK classes. Come to our feast day, and brother's gonna give you all type of love because of your works. Some good food you cooking, some good sisterhood you displaying. Being covered as opposed to getting love for being naked and uncovered.
Right. Exactly.
This is the truth of the Lord, but instead we following the lies of Satan.
Right. Right. Which time and time again will make you commit suicide. Because the Lord is always going to be against you. The Lord is always going to fight against us, man. We got to turn back. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy because they would pair up for a year. In the UPK, you can't touch a woman for a year. You see that? You got to court a woman. You know what I mean? With that feast days, all she got to do is just turn her buttocks out and get spanked and get with another man or get with a man and a woman. But in here, you got to stay separate from a man for a year. You know what I mean? You got to learn to serve the Lord. Then you be, up for marriage. And you'll be able to marry any man that you want to. And he'll be the right man to marry. And he won't be marrying you for a goddamn box of chocolate. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't selling yourself short because you having sex. That's marriage. You know what I mean? So it's heavy how you brought it right round about, Kapash.
Slug it. That's most high.
If I may, sir.
Come on with it, Marah.
Just to piggyback off what y'all saying, I get Psalms 91. Just like you was bringing out too, you and Captain Kapaz, about this is where you need to be at, the I.S.U.P.K. All that secret love you're looking for, that's here. And we got the scripture to prove it. Go ahead, Abba.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 91 and verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
And that's what they're looking for. You're looking for that man to guide you and that love to Salaki. We get a lot of feedback. I'm not sure. And that love that you need, for what you missing. Really, that's the I.S.U.P.K. Just like Captain Kapaz said, and like you said, General, you know, sisterhood. I mean, women love to have fun. You know what I mean? Girls want to have fun. There's tons of events. They're gonna be feeding the brothers and sisters again out in I forget what they're gonna do it this time. But it's gonna be, I believe, this Saturday. They're gonna be doing another food drive again out there, man. The sisters, brothers. There's tons of real love here in this secret place,
Right.
which is the I.S.U.P.K, man. Like
Right.
you need a man to guide you. You got camp leaders. You can find an actual husband, just like Captain Kapaz said. Just like Captain said, man, like you can get an actual man here. You need sisterhood. It's sisterhood here in the I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
It's like the Bible
Right.
says, man, you sons and daughters. Everything you lost in the world, you're gonna find here a hundredfold. The love you
Right.
lost in the world,
Right.
that love is here, man. Like here in
Right.
the secret place of the Most High, the I.S.U.P.K, man. Like
Right.
not in your Christian church. In
Right.
your Christian
Right.
church, the only secret love you're gonna find is whatever the pastor's been doing for behind everybody back.
Right.
The sister sitting next to you been doing behind everybody back.
Right.
Whatever those two brothers been doing behind everybody back. But
Right.
not in the I.S.U.P.K. The I.S.U.P.K, we the secret place of the Lord. All
Right.
that love,
Right.
all that emotional goodies that you're looking
Right.
for and physical goodies, you're gonna find that here, man. The bingo night they got coming
Right.
up. What's that? The fishing trip, the
Right.
foot
Right.
ride, the Passover, Feast of Purim, all types of little games and things that we got going on where you can win different things. You can win righteous goodies here, man.
Right.
You don't
Exactly.
have to search for, love and secret love and who's this, who's my Valentine and all that. You can literally have tons of people that care for you
Right.
and that will protect you in the I.S.U.P.K. So
Right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
And you're right. That's heavy, man. Because I know the sisters in D.C. after the Sabbath services, sometimes they go hang out. You know what I mean? So the sisters really gather and they see each other on the Sabbath day, which a day is to the Lord and a day for us to rest. You know what I mean? So that's heavy what you bringing out about what's in here. Like you ain't gonna be, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna be mistreated. You got people in here that actually really care. You know what I mean? Like when a brother be seriously asking how you doing, he care for your well-being. You know what I mean? It ain't so much of getting sex from you. He want to make sure, yo, you all right? You hanging in there, sis? You looking good, sis? You hanging in there? You know what I mean? Like our love is real. It's authentic.
Right.
You know what I mean? I remember years ago, and I didn't understand it. Me coming from out the world into the truth, and I remember, man, General Muhammad used to blow my head. Right? He'd be like, he would say stuff to me, right, that I really wasn't used to, and he would say, I would come to camp after work, and he'd be like, I'd go change, put my camp clothes on, and General Muhammad would say, yo, how you doing? How you been? And I would look at him like, I wasn't used to brotherhood. You know what I mean? Like he would ask me about what you do today. Oh man, you did that. They had you doing that. He'd be like, yo, listen, brother, go ahead and take a seat before you get on post. Like I wasn't used to that. Even the women that I was dealing with, the different women that I dealt with, they didn't give a damn how my day went. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It was only until the truth that I had a sister, but she wasn't in the truth, but she would ask me. You know what I mean? But before then, the other broads in the world, they cared nothing about that. You know what I mean? But when you see like the generals, they would always ask, how's it going? And they seriously want to know, is there any problem? Is there any issue? Opposed to these holidays where everybody is just for self. Nobody cares about anything, but they care about how can they feed that sexual lust. You know what I mean? Or that lust for a gift. So these holidays destroy us. They destroy us. You know what I mean? There's nothing moral about none of these holidays.
And if I could, would you bring out this heavy? Because in that scripture it said they give gifts to all whores. But then when you read more, it says Israel is the whore and gives the gifts.
It gives the gifts.
My thing is for you, black man and black woman, you setting aside your whole 2-3 days for this white man's holiday. What are you gonna get out of it?
Right.
What you gonna get? Sex? You already have sex all the damn time. When is sex like something it's a special day for sex? Black people always having damn sex. We having too much damn sex with too many damn people half the damn time.
Exactly. That's how it spread.
God. So what are we really getting for following the white man's holidays? What are you getting, black man? What are you getting, black woman? Why you still look forward to it and look up to it? Or when you know the truth about it, why do you let other people's expectations diminish your light or diminish your zeal of the Most High or diminish the knowledge that you done gained?
Right.
Like after listening to the general here break down the origins of this white man's holiday, why would you go backwards?
Right.
Why would you go to the job and let somebody at the job tell you this is Valentine's Day here? It's time for Valentine's. It's time for this. It's time for that. Why would you allow that?
Right.
There's no reason to allow that. Talk about gain and selfishness. Shoot, you going backwards when you celebrate these white man's holidays.
Right. You right.
It's no better. It's what benefit is it for you and your people, your children? Absolutely none.
Exactly.
That's
what I mean. You right. You right.
If I could add, sir.
Come on with it.
Can I get Genesis 4 and 7? Okay. Just to piggyback off what Captain Kapas was saying. I got it right here. I got to search for it. If I could just piggyback off what Captain Kapas is saying. You got it. You can read it. This is Genesis. Go ahead.
Oh God. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 7.
This is what the Lord said to Cain. Genesis, you start at verse 6, bro.
Okay. Sure. Verse 6. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen?
And just to go into what you were saying, Kat, like, why are you so angry about this Valentine's love and all that? Why are your countenance falling? Why are you depressed about love? They're just like I said, most people don't have the love that they pushing out there. So you are not alone. So why be upset as if you're the only person in earth that nobody cares for? You too
right.
ugly, you too dark skinned. You're not alone. Everybody else is going through the same thing because it's not real. The Valentine's Day love is not love, it's just sex.
Right.
And you pretty sure you get more sex than a little bit, so you ain't worried about sex, but you're
right.
worried about love. You can go to the club and get sex. You ain't worried about that. You got sex 2 weeks ago. But Valentine's Day, oh my God, life is over. Nobody really loves me. People just have sex with me. Well, maybe you should slow down on the people you had sex with. Maybe you should take a longer time period to get to know the people before you have sex with them and see if they're worth having sex with. See if they're worth spending your time with. But since you don't do that, now your countenance falling, now you're angry. Now you got to call this hotline. I'm depressed. I'm killing myself. I'm hurting on the inside. The Lord asked Cain, said, what you so angry about? Why are your countenance falling? Why are you so sad? Go ahead.
Verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted?
Damn, if you're good for the Most High, won't you be accepted? Somebody will love you. That's for damn sure. I'm pretty sure you ain't the most ugly person on the earth. And I'm pretty sure it's ugly people that have husbands and wives and all that. Pretty sure it's dark-skinned people that have wives. I mean, and husbands. You know, it's like the whole stereotype start to all them demons that they promote. You're too lazy, you're too fat, you're too ugly, you're too dark-skinned. Now you're too light-skinned. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, all those demons start to set in. All those demons start to set in.
Right.
Around Valentine's Day, but you wasn't too dark skinned last week when you met Jason.
Right. Right.
He wasn't too ugly the week before that when they was buying you all them damn drinks. You wasn't too dark skinned the week before that when you got your first baby mama, or the second, or the third. Right. Now you about to jump off a roof. Now you doing a FaceTime. Yeah, I'm outside her house, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know I'm a killer. Like, you ain't gotta do all that, man.
Right.
If you take your time, if you worry about serving the Lord, you will be accepted, man. And the I.S.U.P.K, we can definitely show you how to do that. You can even call Captain Tazariak and Captain Katazak on Thursday and just, you know what I mean, let it all out if you got to.
Right.
We got our ear to the streets. We here for the people, if I may, sir. That's it.
Nah, you're right. Good job, brother. You're damn right. Or maybe she should just stop being a gremlin and keep the man that she had and learn to work with him, the man she had. A lot of us can't, we don't work with the people that do love us. A lot of sisters are monsters. I know in D.C., sisters are monsters here in D.C. They done traded a man for a little poodle. You'll see plenty of women walking around, some good-looking sisters, serious, and walking around with a little poodle, from young to old, all single.
God damn.
Brothers will tell you, DC women, a lot of them that had decent gigs, basically they live in like a three-story townhouse by themselves out in PG County. And all her friends be single. This is not no exaggeration. This is no exaggeration. Now y'all know that PG, they say PG is a black county with money. But what they don't tell you is it's also a black county with black females with money. A lot of sisters' expectation be crazy around this time. Like she can find a man, or she probably had a man, but they're not taught how to keep a man.
Okay.
And also, brothers is not taught how to treat a sister and how to keep that sister in order. So it goes both ways, but brothers ain't committing. I don't know too many brothers get depressed around. Well, right. I come from a different cloth, Kabash. We wasn't running around worried about some Valentine's Day.
A
brother worried about it when he trying to get some sex. You know what I mean? That's his mission. I'm trying to get some sex. I ain't trying to get in a real relationship. So we got to keep it real. Am I breaking up?
No, we can hear you clear, Adawan.
Okay, good. But that's the reality of Valentine's Day. It's just straight, straight paganism. It's all about sex. It's all about a one-night stand. You know what I mean? Men, a lot of young brothers ain't looking for no wife. You know what I mean? Especially if he plan on handing you a box of chocolate to show you he care about you. That don't, the value, your value is supposed to be, way worth more than that, more valuable than a box of chocolate. You know what I mean? So it's crazy.
And what you bring out, if I could, what you bring out is heavy, Al-Wap, because that what you talking about in DC, that's that whole professional lifestyle that they want sisters to do, because then they make better servants. Because now she ain't pregnant, she ain't taking 3-4 months off to take care of a baby. She only focused on her job. She ain't got no man to report to. Then she's good worker. Then you'll never got to worry about conflict of interest. Then
you're right. And let me tell you something. You on point with that. Do you know my brother said the same thing when he worked for the courts. He said that he said he tried to hire his people as much as possible, right? They tried to sue him for racism or discrimination, I should say.
God damn.
Yeah. So, but anyway, He said, you give me that single black woman or that single white woman that's 40 years and above. Her life will be the job. She won't be late. She won't be rushing out on Fridays. You know what I mean? She ain't too much about them holidays. He said it's just, I can get more work done.
Damn. God. And if I could, that's so heavy because he figuring that out now. The oppressor figured that out 60 years ago when he pushed the feminist movement and started saying, sisters, you don't need a man, get the man out the house. Women that are loose, he passed it down to the Christian churches. Women that are loose, I could do bad all by myself. Right. We ain't gonna forget that. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
You Christian churches, you look at why we so messed up. We ain't gonna forget that.
Gosh, I forgot about that. I forgot about I could do bad all by myself. Women were preaching that for about 40 years. My mother said that to my father. You know what I mean? That's heavy. And they did that test run during the time of World War II, when women had to help out in those factories. And that's probably where they learned it. Like, we can get a lot of work done. That changed the scope of things with women working in them factories. Women taking on those jobs that men were not able to do because they was overseas fighting. That's where your TV dinners come from, all that. It brought about a whole change in the household. The power struggle changed. I mean, the power structure changed. So that was heavy how you brought that out.
And if I could, like I said, in I.S.U.P.K, we gonna also remember, like them Pharisees that tried to repent with Christ, and Christ said, "Who warned you of the wrath that's to come?" You Christian pastors and Christian leaders who done had the helm for all this time, it's time for accountability. The Christian church let Valentine's Day run amok. The Christian church never spoke against Valentine's Day.
Nope.
Even though they knew the origins, they didn't read it in the scriptures.
Right.
They never read Valentine's Day in the scriptures, but they let it go on.
Right.
So the accountability, the Christian pastors never want to take accountability for why the community is the way it is.
They never do.
They want to say, oh, it's the young black youth's fault. It's the 15-year-old on the basketball court. It's his fault that the black community's messed up. Well, he's 15. How is it his fault when it's been like this, like Captain Khan brought out for 40 years?
Right.
It's been like this for many years. It's the leader's fault. You blame the quarterback, man. These Christian pastors, it's time for them to take accountability for the condition that the community is in.
Right.
Since the people don't know about the truth behind this bullshit, excuse my language,
right?
That the oppressors' holidays, it's your Christian leaders' fault.
Right.
Don't forget that it's their fault.
Right. It's right. You're right. Because they supposed to be, the ones that we can go to about God, and they were supposed to put that to rest way back when. And let me tell you something, man. I remember an older brother, and this is what he had said to me. And he said this to me in the 90s, right? And he said, somehow we got on the subject of the civil rights. And he said, man, let me tell you something. He said, I'm 60 or 50% responsible of the way things are today for y'all. He said, my generation should be responsible the way things are. He said, because when we was rallying and doing all this, and we supposedly got so-called started getting these jobs, he said we were supposed to do just like the Italians, made sure that that door was kept open for y'all. He took responsibility and he said, it's our fault. You know what I mean? Now this cat he wasn't no Christian leader, he wasn't no politician. But he said that he still should have made a way that the door stayed open for the next generation, like the Italians and the Irish do. I didn't mean to go on, but you said something so heavy about them celebrating that Valentine's Day. Everything is Esau's fault and our so-called leaders' fault for the predicament of blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Everything is their fault. That's why I'm so glad that I'm in the UPK, because I get a chance to go out there and talk to young people to try to make a difference. You know what I mean? Like my generation dropped the ball too. But I'm out here trying to, thanks be to the Most High, in the spirit of Christ through Commander General Yahanna and the I.S.U.P.K, that I can make a difference. I don't have to go in the grave and say I ain't do nothing for my people. If I go in the grave right now today, I can at least say, yo, I gave it my best shot. I gave it a shot.
Come on, and if I could, Alawat, you even raised up the next generation to fight the fight.
Good. I tried. I tried my best.
You did. The evidence is right here on the screen. If I could, and if I could, the Christian, where are the Christian leaders, second generation leaders at? Jesse Jackson ain't raised up a protege. Al Sharpton ain't raised up a protege to continue to fight for our people for anything.
Right.
And they wasn't effective when they did it. And now look, they didn't even got somebody to continue to go on. This is how foolish them leaders are.
Right.
Them leaders so foolish that they did all that grandstanding and run around on CNN and TBN and all these news stations. They never even thought to say, well, let me make sure the black community got more leaders. Let me put some investment back into my community.
Right.
They wanted so much investment for their damn self that they didn't even put investment into the people, to the younger generation, like the generals did in the UPK.
Right. You're right. That's a plan. Commander General Yahanna had a plan. The UPK got a plan. And that plan comes from that Bible. You know what I mean? That's why they ain't did it. They ain't do it, those leaders. And you know what else? Being that they didn't leave something for somebody to replace them, women are now rising up in the Christian church, and homosexuals are rising up in the Christian church.
God. And what you bring out so heavy, Adawan, is so damn heavy, because that's what happens when even the men in the Christian church, they wasn't strong enough or unselfish enough to raise up strong enough men to hold the candle, to hold the torch, to pass the torch to where they couldn't even fight. They weren't strong enough to defend against the women and the gays.
Right.
The women and the gays are stronger than the Christian men.
Right. They came together. And now the Christian church is just a weak religion or a weak congregation that the white man could just push over.
God. And if I could, Officer Tarap, he brought out one heavy story, which is basically this in a nutshell. When he was first learning about the truth in Louisville, Officer Tarap, he went to these like a fake Israelite Christian like group. Is a guy, he had a church. He was like a Christian pastor type, but he was trying to incorporate some Israelite beliefs. So Officer Tarap was in there. He's learning the truth that we the real Israelites, we the 12 tribes, keep the law. And so he's just in there learning. They starting to come to him a little bit for more and more. And one time the sisters in there said they wanted to have an ice cream social where they give out ice cream in the community. Right. And the pastor said no. But the sisters, they went ahead and did it anyway. And they did it in front of his church, his building, across the street. And so Officer Tarap is in there, and he's with the leader and some of the other men, and the pastor says, we need to go through the back door. He didn't want to go through the front door to have to look at them and confront them that they disobeyed what he said. And Tarap, he seen that moment. The spirit of the Lord is not here.
Hey,
yeah, that's what he said. He said he left from there and came to the UPK because he said he was scared to go confront them sisters. He knew the spirit of the Lord is not in this place.
Because the spirit of Semiramis was in that church. Hey, listen, I don't have to tell you what Commander General Yahanna did in the past, right?
I would love to hear it again.
Listen, when sisters got out of hand, and up in Baltimore, they had like a garment thing, and so the women whose husband had rank was giving brothers orders. So this went on for a while, but it was a young officer. He was feeling some sort of way about it. He was like, nah, this ain't, he was kind of like, I know this ain't right. This ain't, you know what I mean? So from what General Sharma was telling me, I heard this from General Hyman and General Yahanna, that they was trying to keep him away from Commander General Yahanna, because Commander General Yahanna would come down and visit. See, a lot of people realize, and I heard stories from brothers like Commander General Yahanna wasn't no joke. All right, he wasn't no joke. That's why a lot of these leaders of these other camps, they don't really face him on the stuff that they say on video. All right, but anyway, so General Yahanna, when he finally got wind of it, he threw all the women.
God damn, what's up? God.
Threw them all out. You know what I mean? You gonna learn at home, and you gonna stay at home. You ain't coming up in here. You know what I mean?
And if I could, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If I could, what you said is so heavy into the correct right spirit that should be taught and pushed on the days like this when Satan has his bullshit he's showing. When the oppressor got his bullshit, excuse my language, his crap he's showing to our people, like, oh, you need to give a rose, you need to buy a ring, you need to hit Visit K's Jewelers and spend $5,000 to give to some woman that don't even cook when you tell her to cook.
God,
don't do the things a wife is supposed to do. You buying it for whores. You buy it for a stripper that you met and that you mess with on the weekends,
right?
Or some frivolous woman that you're trying to get with at the job that everybody done slept with already. You trying to buy her the chocolates and jewelries when the right spirit will come from the UPK, like you said with his story with Commander Yahanna. A story like that should give some of you brothers strength, man.
Exactly, man. And because of Valentine's Day, the land have fell into whoredom because of the Christian church. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody coming up against strippers. Ain't no politician saying anything. Ain't no rappers saying anything. You know what I mean? Ain't no religious leaders saying anything. Ain't nobody coming up against that. And since they ain't coming up against that, predators are now snatching young black girls off the streets and carrying them to different cities and turning them and forcing them to sell their body.
Right.
Like we supposed to be fighting against prostitution, right? If you against the GMS raping a little 12-year-old girl, you supposed to be against prostitution, because those girls out there are 13, 12, 14 years old. They do stories on them all the time on the news. But because this country is just like the ancient Roman Empire, pedophilia is accepted. It's hidden in prostitution. Because in our mind, when you think of big pimping, you thinking she's an adult woman. But go on them strips and see how old them girls are. Let's keep it real.
Con.
Like, yeah, come on with it.
I was gonna say what you bringing out is so damn heavy that they don't even the Christian church ain't even taught, and we ain't even knowing of the snowball effect of this type of the beliefs, this whoredom and believing in strippers and prostitutes and not stepping against it. It's a snowball effect. Now, since you don't got a problem with a woman stripping to get through college, so then you can't stop the woman hoeing through college. And now you can't stop the child abductors from abducting children in the neighborhood to take to other cities and make them strippers and whores and then make them go through college that way, because you ain't never stopping the wickedness from the beginning.
Right.
And that's heavy how it's all connected.
Right. You know what I mean? All of it is connected. And being a pimp is like being a rapper. What they call him? What's that dude that they got? That's a pimp. That was he was in the movie Another Friday with Cat Williams.
Yeah, Cat Williams.
Money Mike.
Cat Williams. He played Money Mike in the movie.
But who was the pimp? He's an actual pimp.
Oh, damn, green for the money, gold for the honey dude. In Chicago, I forgot his name, man. He a nobody.
Imagine
that. Don Juan. Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Now imagine that. Like, he a pimp. Because of his fame, they big him up and put him in the movie. Because everybody be talking that we got to protect our women, but they be lying. The Nation of Islam, they ain't fight against it. They ain't come up on no pimps. The Black Panther Party, right now, they ain't coming up on it. They ain't been coming up on it. They ain't even speaking about it. The Christian church, for sure, they produce hoes. We the only ones that speak against everything that's evil, man.
And if I could, what you bringing out so heavy, because Islam, the Muslims, they don't have the same tenets that we believe in. But supposedly they believe in getting down if it had to get down. They got down on brothers that left Malcolm. They got down on Malcolm X. But why didn't they ever get down on the strip clubs and the hoes and the prostitutes to make them stop?
Right.
And if they did, it didn't work.
Then listen, they went into D.C., took over part of D.C., a drug strip called Mayfair, went over there, and then they started selling drugs. Like, it's crazy how people big up all these organizations, but everybody hates us. I was talking to a brother from Brooklyn, New York, and, in his travels, he had just, came out the joint, and in his short time of coming out, right, he haven't been out maybe no more than a year, maybe. And he said, I was trying different things. And he said, finally, I contacted y'all. He said, but everybody that I done dealt with hate y'all. So you know what I told him, right? I said, because of their hatred for us, people are going to want to seek us. That's going to benefit us more. The more they keep hating and telling us, and then he said one group of brothers told him he can't come in because he got the vaccination. They said, nah, you can't come in under us. Ain't that y'all breaking up?
Wow. Nah, that's heavy, Adawan.
They refused to allow him to come in their school because he took the vaccination. Now this cat is 61 years old. And what more, like, he fit the criteria of that he should take the vaccine. And you know what I told him? I said, a lot of these groups, man, they don't really care about Black people. You know what they really care about? Going on them corners, breaking down a scripture, which is usually not accurate, but thinking that they puffed up and that they know something. I said, but when it comes to fixing the people, you only gonna get that here in the I.S.U.P.K.
That's right.
Because we don't want somebody running around in the UPK destroyed. It's our job to fix them. They come in here. You know, in here for that refuge and that safety and that want to change their life. Them brothers just want to go on the corner and start talking about some codex and all this other stuff was written in Hebrew and then translated into the Greek. They want to do all that puffed up, stuff. But really, when we go out, we apply these scriptures to what's happening now. You know what I mean? How I'm going to deal with what's coming ahead of us? What's going on with Russia? We apply all this to what's going on. We'll even do a breakdown on the Olympics. You know what I mean? Like, we'll fight that real fight. We'll talk that real truth. We'll bring them scriptures alive.
Come on. And what you bringing out, if I could, so heavy that what you saying is we're practical with what we say and do. The Muslims had 1 million man march with 1 million people in DC. They ain't build a shelter, they ain't build a home, they ain't build a store, they ain't build a shit, they ain't did shit. Had 1 million people listening to you, and all you did was sit there, have them talk, and then you ain't did nothing for the people.
Right.
With 1 million people. Imagine 1 million people in front of Commander GEN.YAHANNA at one time. You know what he was established?
And handing him the money that they handed over in the 1 million man march and handed to General Yahanna, Commander General.
God.
And let me say this, out of that 1 million man, we gonna recruit a whole bunch of them. But the whole point, that 1 million man march was just the same rhetoric that Dr. Martin Luther King did when he had his march. You know what I mean? It really don't amount to nothing. It's just like the scriptures say that they yell peace, peace, and they slightly heal the daughter of my people. That's all.
God. Had if I could have celebrities and everything there. Ain't did a damn thing.
He did a damn thing. I know a dude that went down there and said, man, he put up a box beside him and he said he made like $400 or $500. He said he took the day off. I mean, he wasn't with, he wasn't with nothing, you know what I mean? But he said that alone, like imagine him just himself. And he said that they was filling the boxes up with money, passing it up. Now the brothers that came had the right, they had the right spirit of wanting to unite. But like you said before, but because of the leadership, don't nothing get resolved. You got to have a real leader. You got to have a real leader. I don't know if y'all even heard that there was brothers that had a contract with the Nation of Islam and made shirts up. And the Nation of Islam never paid them brothers.
Hey.
The brothers in DC was complaining about it. It's crazy.
I could imagine all the scandals and screw overs because it's just a money grab.
Right.
Just like Valentine's Day. It's just a money grab.
That's all it was.
It ain't about love and ain't about nothing. It's about sales.
Right. You know what? I'm gonna add something real quick, Kabash. You're right. Because there was one preacher that spoke against homosexuality and they refused him to come up there and speak, to be on that panel.
And go ahead, where I want to hog the mic. One quick thing.
Go ahead, Kat.
And if Farrakhan and his cohorts really was about our people, they would have had Commander GEN.YAHANNA and the Israelites speaking in that 1 million man march also. Because if you're really about the people, you're going to let the leaders speak. Right. You want to block out certain major leader, like Commander GEN.YAHANNA is a major leader in this earth.
Right.
Like with schools all across the country, all across in other countries, a major influencer with the Black Watch radio show.
Right.
But you will not invite him to it for what?
Because the priests of Baal do not want the priests of the Most High.
Yeah,
we are not in agreement with them bastards. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just keep it real. You know what I mean? But what you saying, you totally right.
Oh my God.
You totally right now. But Commander General Yahanna is still pushing forward.
God, oh God.
I mean, and the Most High is helping him do it. You know what I mean? So they really priests of Baal that was up there in the Million Man March.
God, that's why Scripture said many false prophets shall arise.
Listen, General Shaw, and listen, if Commander General Yahanna would have went up there, he would have been like Elijah against the 400 prophets of Baal. That's what it would have happened. All right,
God,
you know what I mean? So, and they know about Commander General Yahanna. They all know. They all know. You know what I mean? They know. Mashak, I don't know if you saw the video with Mashak, with the Black Panthers.
I seen one where they was at a speaking at a Black Panthers rally and they got to speaking. I think Tazaiwan was with them.
He might have been, because they came and got Mashak, and they said, "We know who y'all are." Yeah, but Mashak said they was real cool. They was respectful. You know what I mean? They but
God.
They knew that we could bring that fire. You know what I mean?
And oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and what I was saying was from somebody who, from a sincere perspective, because even the Black Panthers out here in Indianapolis reached out to us through the internet and been and inviting us to their meetings and liking our stuff and everything like that. Because when you sincere about the truth, you're gonna know who has it. When you sincere about really helping Black people, even if you don't agree with their approach and their look or whatever,
right?
If you're sincere, you will know this right here is real.
Right.
And you're gonna have to say look, this right here is real. Like even the Egyptologists, when we start bringing up the works, yeah, they talking about the theology and thinking about Africa a million years ago. But when we start bringing up the works of what's going on right today,
right,
they all of them bow down and say, well, we can't even hold a candlestick to what y'all doing in the UPK. Let's change the subject, because they know this is real. This isn't YouTube, the Illuminati. No, this is real. What's going on in the UPK?
Right.
What's like?
Right. You're right. They got to acknowledge us. You know what I mean? And that right there, they recognize that, and they have some sort of love for Black people, but they can't stretch thin with loving the Hamites. You know what I mean? Like that's the issue we have with them. That the Hamites ain't doing jack for us. They here in America, and really, I don't want them to do anything for us anyway. But stay out our way. Yeah, there you go. That's Mashak at that Black Panther rally. So big up to Captain Mashak on that.
And if I could, we do that every weekend on every corner. Black Panthers is kind of fresh. They, doing it one. They get some strength to do it one good time. But that's camp. That's just camp right there. We do that every week. That's not that special.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we don't have to, go try to get all these brothers up and all that. We just normally Fridays and Saturdays the day we go out, to put to death all these fake gods and all these, these lies. We put those to death. And I ain't saying people, I said lies and gods. You know what I mean?
If I may, sir, I got a few lies from online, right? These is quotes. These is quotes that they say to women, right? These is women empowerment quotes about being single. Just to touch on some of the lies. You know how the Bible says, "Speak unto us smooth words," right? If I may, sir. I got a few from these false leaders that are the opposite of Commanding Gen.YAHANNA. They don't care for the people. They're the opposite of I.S.U.P.K. They don't go out and speak on the street corners to save people. If you can read this for me, I'm gonna just read a few. I got a few of them right here that stood out. Go ahead.
20 of the best quotes to empower single women everywhere.
Just before we wrap it up, you can read number one.
Number 1, I don't need to be.
I'm gonna make it bigger.
I don't need to be in a relationship to be told how beautiful, pretty, and sexy I am. I already know that.
Now, at first, it sounds good, like, all right, that's understandable. But the spirit behind it, that I already know that's that nigga please part to add on to it. Like, ain't nothing wrong with knowing that. But the way they putting it, I don't see how that means, you know, how that's something that's gonna empower you. I mean, as far as a relationship, I mean, you should know that off the back. That don't have nothing to do with the relationship. You should be taught that as a child. Go ahead.
Number 2, if you're not happy single, you won't be happy taken. Happiness comes from within, not from men.
Now, once again, it's another surface one, right? On the surface, it sounds like, all right, well, that's understandable. But what is the spirit behind it? The main thing is, you don't need no happiness from a man. So if he ain't making you happy, then I guess, woman, thou art loose. I guess you unevenly yoked. I'm gonna skip down, all right, to number 6, sir, if I may, because it get a little. These other ones start to get a little bit deeper, and I know we pressed on the time. If I may, go ahead.
Number 6. Some women choose to follow men, and some women choose to follow their dreams. If you're wondering which way to go, remember that your career will never wake up and tell you that it doesn't love you anymore.
So now your career is really what you should care about, because the career ain't gonna say, I don't love you no more. And why does a man tell a woman he don't love her no more? More than likely, like you said, sir, she is a monster.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is why she got all the money and the nice house, but she ain't got nobody in there.
Right.
I could. I'm gonna skip down. There's some real good ones.
Come on with it.
Towards the end. All right, go ahead. Number 10.
Number 10. And you scare people because you are whole all by yourself.
There you go. You don't need nobody. You whole. What is he gonna do for you? It's just like the subconscious ones. Let's keep going.
Number 11. I like being alone.
That's dumb. Go ahead.
I have control over my own SHIT.
That's what they really want. Go ahead.
Therefore, in order to win me over, your presence has to feel better than my solitude. You're not competing with another person. You are competing with my comfort zone.
Oh, if I could, oh my God, if I could.
I know. Marah, why are you leaving us with this shit?
No, this is heavy. God, oh God. If I could, this
to be on.
If I could, this right here, it don't say this is the demon talking. Like this is it says I like being alone. This is the demon talking. I have control of my shit. That's the demon. He's saying he got control. Therefore, in order to win me over, your presence has to feel better than my solitude, which is the demon. You're not competing with another person. You're competing with my demon. That's what she's saying.
Right.
That's what she's saying. She's not saying the comfort zone is her demon. Her demon of hating niggas and hating brothers and any problem she have. You ain't competing with nothing with no other guy. You competing with a demon.
Exactly.
Count on one cause.
That was deep. That was deep, brother. Go ahead. That was deep, Captain.
Count on one cause, sir. I keep going. I'm gonna make them quick.
Nah, you ain't gotta make them quick.
This number 12. Go ahead, Bob.
Number 12. I was told I was dangerous. I asked why. They said, because you don't need anyone. That's when I smiled.
Do you get that? They said I'm dangerous. She the type of bro will blow your car up and be smiling because guess what? You didn't meet her comfort zone any damn way.
Right.
You wasn't never ish anyway. Because guess what? You can't handle me. That's what this is saying. You can't handle me. I'm dangerous because you can't handle me. It's like I don't need you. So therefore, when you go to check me, I'm gonna out talk you. I'm gonna use that high pitched voice and like I'm a damn opera singer or something, and I'm gonna talk over you. Right. I'm gonna show out because
that's
really, go ahead.
That's really what all this is about. Her having power like Eve. Like that, what trips me about different black organizations that always screaming that we need to protect the black woman. But there's some black women think that they can run it themselves and they don't need our help. There's some women that have that attitude, and you find they wind up getting pulled to him. Y'all can still hear me?
Come.
All right, my phone messing up. They can damn, they'll end up being pulled from a goddamn car and dragged by the police, and then they start to yell out, the black woman need our protection. The black woman need our protection. But when you look at this, she's saying she don't need nobody.
On one car.
Right.
That's right. And if I could,
that's why it's so heavy for the sisters in the I.S.U.P.K. that I applaud these sisters, man. That they done got humble. You know, they done got right. And they got strength. And they got beauty. And they got sense enough to know the value of a man and to never be alone if you don't want to.
Come on. And what you bringing out so heavy, Officer Tarab used to talk about this all the time also. I learned a lot from that, brother. Shout out Officer Tarab. He used to say, how sisters want, they claim they want the black man protection, but they don't listen to no black man. So how are you saying it's a black man's fault or you need a black man's protection when you don't listen to no black man? You listen to the man on your job or you listen to yourself. Can't no black man tell you nothing. So how is it our job? How can we ever protect you? How could it ever be our duty to protect you when you don't listen to nothing any black man say anywhere?
Right. Right. And the only man that they will listen to is that damn homosexual in the beauty salon. That's where they get their advice from.
All right.
Come on, sir. They listen to that mama and that girlfriend too. Tell them
right.
To send them all the way.
God, who is also single.
And dangerous.
Right.
Single and dangerous.
Right. Go ahead.
It's only two more, sir.
I'm on with it. I'm fine. I'm good.
It's on number 18, and then we're gonna go to 20.
Number 18. I used to think that the worst thing in life was to end up all alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people that make you feel alone.
Now, come on, yeah, you know where that's going. It's going to, he don't spend enough time with me. What is he doing? He always out with this. He always on the video game. Where you at? Why you don't call me enough? So it's like a million things that a woman will say make her feel alone, even when you're next to her.
Right. Exactly.
You don't talk to me enough. We need to have more conversations. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. I don't get enough goodies. I don't feel loved. That's where that's headed to.
And if I could, if that's by Robin Williams, I believe that's a homosexual man because he played a woman, Miss Doubtfire, in a dress. So and he committed suicide. He committed suicide.
Oh man.
So his quote, you better run away from his quote. He done killed himself, and he obviously felt alone because he was a man wearing a dress, and he probably was had his homosexual tendencies, but he didn't want everybody to accept it. because he didn't always play a homosexual. So he wasn't always, you know, so it's like he had an identity crisis with his homosexuality and then ended up killing himself. So, you know, if these are the top quotes for Valentine's Day, Sisters is being attacked.
Listen, I ain't even know he committed suicide.
God, Robin Williams committed suicide with drug overdose.
Wow. Goddamn dope fiend too, huh?
All right. And that's spiking the suicide, just like you just said. All around, like, how you gonna listen to somebody that killed their damn self about how you should love somebody? Obviously, he was missing a lot of love. You don't just jump off the bridge because you're happy. You won the lottery, I'm gonna jump, y'all. It don't work like that. So
man.
That was heavy, Cat. If I may, I'm gonna go to the last one. Here we go, y'all.
Number 20. As selfish as it sounded, she had to focus on herself. She kept trying to find happiness in other people, but realized it had to come from within her. Everyone wasn't meant to understand her solitude, and some slighted by her focus. Then again, misery loved company, and she learned to love being alone.
I mean, y'all want to take it? Y'all want to take it, sir?
I'm gonna just say this. That's what suicide is all about. People back and forth within with that demon of trying to say that they comfortable with being alone. You know what I mean? She ain't, you know what I mean? A lot of this is nonsense. Like, who the hell wants to go in the grave alone? Who wants to spend a lifetime alone? Don't nobody want to spend alone. That ain't what God meant. You know what I mean? Like, God ain't meant for you to live a life and never get married. He said, be fruitful and multiply, man.
That's right.
Like, that's crazy. And this is what they teach black women. And as she started to believe this, she become useless to men. Because she's always thinking about herself. And that's a demon. That's a demon.
Yes,
a lot of black women who really chase men away because of stuff like this being pushed around. And some of them think that shit is cool. Excuse my language. Some of them think this is cool. This ain't, you know what I mean? Like this is, is right. And the Christian church teaches black women this.
Okay. Sir, if I may, on the surface, everything sounds so goddamn smooth. It sounds like you go, girl. You got it. You do bad all by yourself. It sounds real good. But when you think about it, it's like, that's not really good. Everything is, I'm alone. I'm dangerous. I'm crazy as hell. But I'm happy because I'm alone. Because that nigga, some. It's like, it is. When you think about it, it's like, that's not really, that's bad counsel.
Right.
That's terrible counsel.
Right.
And you should never, like, who the hell, the Bible say a brother, what does it say about two there,
a brother is there for a time of adversity.
Right.
But there's warmth. All those scriptures about
exactly.
Sir, all those scriptures about being with somebody, about brotherhood, give your life for your friend. All those good scriptures, love your neighbor as you love yourself. I ain't heard none of that. Like, how you going? What's going to happen when you get to the top? I mean, what you going to say to people?
Right.
What you going to say? I like to thank all the little people I stepped on to get here. I mean, like, there's nothing else you going to say. What else you going to say? Who you going when they get the Grammy from you go, girl. You get the Grammy. Who you going to thank?
Right.
I mean,
like
you think about yourself.
Right. Like, it's so heavy that you're going in on it because who the hell want to be around somebody that want to be alone by themselves any damn way?
Right.
Like, that don't make no sense. Like, if you got that type of mentality, I don't want to be around you either. You should be alone till you get your act together. So,
Right.
you know, that's crazy. Like damn near, I don't want to be. Tell the truth. That sounds depressing. Why would I want to be with you?
As selfish as it sounds, like, come on, man. That was honesty. In all actuality, if I could, I'm just a selfish bitch.
Right.
Let's just keep it honest.
Right.
Let me just keep it honest.
Right.
I'm just selfish. So, you know, what I'm about to say is all BS. That's just my cover up. It's like you really said it already. Just like how y'all, you know, how we battle and you be listening to what people say in the battle. They gave it up right there. As selfish as this might sound, which means everything I'm about to say is about me. It's it's nothing I can do to help anybody. It's really just a selfish quote. It's not about empowerment. It's not about love. It's not about helping anything. It's not about feeling better. It's not about making it prosperity. It's not. It's none of that. It's just selfishness. I'm dead.
Selfish. Right. It's crazy because in order for a man to get with a woman like that, he becomes her servant and not her husband. He now got to do what makes her happy. And you can never make her happy. You know what I mean? Like he'll be trying to make her happy and she will grind his behind to the ground until the demon makes that brother leave. Hey, you know, anybody want to chime in on anything else? Anybody got anything else to say?
Lie.
Right.
If I could, sir, just the last scripture, if you want it, Ephesians 5:25.
Right.
5:22. Salakia. And if I could, this the last thing. This is the answer to not being alone. This is how you keep a man. This is how you know. If I hate to say it, but a lot of sisters don't give a man enough time to understand all their demons. Like it ain't just like I'm gonna understand you today after the sex is over. You know, after you eat the candy hearts, now I know who the hell you are. How the hell do I know you dangerous? How to get to know you first? Maybe they did have sex before the ceremony. I still got to protect you. I still got to know what you know what I mean, in order to help you. I got to know your demons.
Right.
So if I don't got enough time to do that, because you focused on how much goodies and how much, you know, I'm supposed to be around you and how much I'm supposed to make you feel love.
Right.
Then, you know, but then you're not going to keep a man. This is how you keep a man. Go ahead.
God. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord.
You serve that man as unto the Most High. The way you say you love God, show it. Serve that husband. And then you will not be alone. Because when you serve that man, he's going to want you around him. He's going to want to make you feel better. He's going to want to get you stuff and get you nice things and keep you looking beautiful. He's going to want you to go to the top.
Right.
He's going to say, no, baby, stay broke. Let's not even be able to afford the Xbox I want. You know what I mean? It's like, and he ain't going to send you to the stripper pole to get money. He's going to help you. You know what I mean? He's going to guide you. And that's what we have here in the I.S.U.P.K. And that's why our sisters prosper, because they're not selfish. They're not lonely, crazy demons. Can't be with a man 20 minutes after sex. You know, it ain't about that, man. It's about serving the Most High. And that's it. So,
right. Our sisters are down. Hey, give me 2 Timothy 3 and 6. I believe 3 and 6.
God.
And that's the last scripture. When you got it.
This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 6. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins.
Yeah, and that is the problem. A lot of the sisters in the world, they got men that creep up in their head with all that silly nonsense, man. You know, go ahead.
Led away with diverse lusts.
And they led away with diverse lusts. The love of a job, the love of being by yourself, a love of a house. A love of all the things that fill their hearts that they think is worth something. That's what America does. That's what Esau does to our black women.
On a one count.
They teach us to be lust-filled, man. And it's funny because the Most High's feast days is about being selfless. It's about the Most High.
Right.
You know what I mean? It ain't about you. The Passover, it ain't about us. You know what I mean? The Feast of Tabernacles, it's not about us. The Feast of First Fruits is not about us. It's what we about to give up. It's about what the Lord did for us. Not what we did, but what the Lord did. It ain't about that.
Right.
Hey, I'm gonna say, yo, I'm gonna end the show with hit right here and say Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, Barakatah to the brothers out there, and Shalom, Shema Alatah Bashem Yahushai to the sisters, and to the brothers on deck. Shalom, Yahweh Bashem
Yoshai. Lord Christ.
All right, brothers.
Barakatah.
Water. Let's do a roll call.
Count on one count.
All right. Oh, Purim tonight. 7. What time are you gonna do it up? 7 o'clock, Maran?
I believe 7, sir.
Right. Commander General Yahanna is gonna do the Memorial Purim, the Feast of Purim, tonight at 7 o'clock. All right. Shalom.
Shalom, sir.
Warrior with the hands, that's what I'm all about. Hunger in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways. Payback in every breath, plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark. And I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought. Just gotta watch who I'm feeding. Now been walking with them angels. So I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas barely breathing, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak. Nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby fat soft. Better bear witness or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. Dumb dogs all barked out. Behind me say I cup full. No room for emotion. So I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't UPK, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they real, they down to suffer. Flow so deep, they drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah? Bro, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. No rank me, no head. And I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep in hollow. So when they ask I'm UPK, you tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing. Gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart. And Alana, she's so beautiful, but they ain't like other babies. And they daddy